Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is my first video to my new YouTube channel where I will be talking about my knits, basically. This will be a knitting channel hosted by me. My name is Linn and I live in the north of Sweden, and we do have really long winters. So knitting is, for me, very essential in the winter, and at least for most people here, warm clothes are very essential in the winter too. And so I will be talking about my knitting in this video and in coming videos. It will be sort of a knitting diary / knitting podcast where you can sit back, relax, and just listen to me talk about my knittings, my latest projects, my current projects, thoughts on knitting, etc. We'll see where it goes, but I thought I'll give it a go. I've been thinking about making knitting videos for a really long time, like several years. I just haven't got around to it, and because I know it will take some kind of dedication too to keep on doing this and keep on uploading videos. But I do love watching other people's knitting videos, and I find it also to be a really good way of remembering what you were thinking, what you thought about these knitting projects and how it's actually going. I try to use Ravelry because I've been on Ravelry for many years. And I try to update my projects, and I try to write notes so that I'll remember things about my projects. But I figured after listening and watching so many knitting podcasts on YouTube, this is a great way to remember what you're doing, what you thought about it, and also a way to connect with other knitters around the world. So this is my first video, and hopefully there will be more. Yeah, I'm excited to get this whole journey started. I am a 37-year-old knitter from the north of Sweden. I have been knitting since, wow, I did learn to knit when I was young. In school we have to learn how to knit, so I remember knitting a really long scarf for my mom. And later on I also knit a hat for myself that I remember using a lot when I was around 14, 15. And then I started again back in, it must have been around 2012, around that time. When a friend of mine wanted help to learn how to knit a baby blanket, and I was like, yes, I know how to knit, let me help you. Turns out because she's American, and they knit differently. So that sparked my interest again and really got me into knitting. So I've been knitting, so it's basically been my biggest hobby since around 2012, 13, somewhere around there. And I find knitting such an enjoyable hobby because, first of all, you get occupied. Like, it is, you always have something to do. There's never a boring moment in a day because you can always knit, provided you have your knittings with you. But it's also creative because there's colors, there's shapes, there's constructions. There's so many things you can do with knitting. So it's a great creative outlet too, and I think that's a big part of why I like knitting. It's very creative, and it's also never ending. Because I've been knitting now consistently for at least 10 years, and I'm still learning new things. I'm still trying out new yarns, new techniques, new patterns. It's almost like you can never, well, I do, like, I would say I'm pretty professional when it comes to knitting because I do know a lot about knitting. but you never become complete because there's so many things to explore. You have color work, you have cables, you have constructions, you have different types of knitting as well. So it's just a pool of infinitive knowledge that you can dive into. And I thought, I'm a Nordic knitter. We live fairly close to the polar circle. So we have really, really dark winters and really, really light summers. And yeah, I thought I'd just make some videos and have my opinions out there too. And I hope you will enjoy listening to me talking and follow me along the ride, basically, with my knits. And I will probably do as many others do, talk about my current projects that I'm knitting on, and also show the things that I've finished, because I really enjoy listening to other people talking about their finished products and what they liked and maybe disliked with a pattern or yarns. And so I'll do all of that. Probably I will not really talk about things that I've bought, because I buy very little things for my knittings compared to other people. After watching a lot of YouTube videos, I realized, oh, I don't buy that much when it comes to my knitting. I'm very much I plan what I want to knit and then I buy the specific yarn for it. That's usually how it goes. So I wanted to say that my stash isn't very big, but it has grown over the years because I get, lots of scraps and like extra balls of yarn here and there. And I do have a stash now. I do. But I'm not a very spontaneous buyer when it comes to yarn. So it will be mostly like project knittings and stuff. Okay, so I was thinking I could start with the piece that I'm wearing. This is my latest finished object. This is I could start off by saying that too. I mostly knit garments because that's what I find the most enjoyment in knitting. I knit sweaters and cardigans and tops, here and there a sock or two. But I actually have to say I don't really like knitting socks, but I do love knitting mittens. So I don't know why I don't really like socks, but I love knitting mittens. Also hats I don't really like. They always turn out way too big. I can never get them to fit correctly. But so this is my latest finished sweater. This is the Elena sweater by the designer Junko Okamoto. This is a lovely design, and I knew immediately when I saw the picture of it, like I need to knit that someday. But I also knew that it would take a lot of effort because it actually wasn't as small of needles as I thought it would be. I think they were knit on 3.5mm needles, but it's a very cool constructed sweater, a bit boxy, oversized, and it has both color works and this very intricate, I don't remember what it's called, but you see there's like bobbles all around. And these takes a really long time to make, and they are all over. And yeah, this piece was one of these things that after 10 years of knitting, it really inspired me to, wow, I get to do something new. I get like, ooh, something new. It was really fun, but it was also very tedious because it's like a raglan, and you start by making the neckline, and you have increases right here. So it is a big raglan, but it becomes really, really large because you knit the raglan all over here. So the rows over here, they're like 6 200 stitches or something for one row. And 600 stitches, and then you make these bobbles that take some time. So that's like 200 of them in each row. Like, it took a lot of time. This was an effort knit, really. It took me, I think it took me 1.5 years to knit the sweater, because it was one of those that I did on and off because I couldn't focus on it. It was really one of those you had to focus. And I do like these really intricate pieces, and you feel so accomplished when you've finished them and when they're done, but they take such a long time to knit. So in between, I always, most often when I do something intricate like this, I start and then I pause it, and then I knit a simple sweater in between, and then I go back to it, knit some more, and then I pause it again, knit another sweater that's easier, and then go back again. So I went back and forth on this one for 1.5 years. But this year I decided that no, I need to finish this one before I can cast on something else, because I only had the sleeves left, and the sleeves, you have to follow a chart for these, and it's time consuming basically. And I am very happy that I persevered and like made it through these charts and knit the sleeves, because I do really love the outcome. I knew I would love the outcome of the sweater when it was finished. It's just, it's okay to have sweaters that you put on hold because they're too much or you can't focus, because you can always come back to them. And I think a good reminder is too that it's actually worth coming back to these things and not letting them sit too long in the liksom on hold pile, because it's so happy. I get so happy, and it's so satisfying when it's finished. This one I know I will use a lot now in the summer. I just finished it, and it's April here. Current date 21st of April 2025, and I've worn this once or twice now, but it will be great for summer here. We don't get that hot summers usually, so I can still wear wool sweaters in the summer if it's not like the very hot days. But yeah, so this one is knit in the base yarn. The white is Järbogarn Svensk Ull, and this is a bleached white color. And I can't say how much yarn I used because I honestly don't remember. It wasn't that much. I'll probably weigh it and put it on my Ravelry page for the sweater. But yeah, it's a very nice 2-ply wool yarn. It's like a fingering sport weight yarn, and it becomes really soft. I say really soft because I knit in a lot of 100% wool yarns, both Swedish yarns, Icelandic yarns, that sort of thing. And they're never going to be as soft as like a merino wool, but I do love this type of yarns because I love color work knittings. And so the white is Järbogarn Svensk Ull, a Swedish wool, translated. And this is, I don't know what color really it shows up in the picture, but it's like a really dark petrol blue. And this is Rauma Finull from Norway. So it's a mix of Swedish and Norwegian wool for this sweater. And you can see like it's nice and flowy, and yeah, it's gonna keep me warm, and I'm pretty sure I'll use it a lot because it also fits really nicely with a shirt underneath. What else? Oh, the instructions can be, like the pattern when you buy it, it can be intimidating because I think the pattern had like 20 pages or something. Like it was an insane amount of pages for this pattern. but it's because every row is explained in detail for every size too. So even though it's intimidating, the pattern is really long, it's really easy to follow because every size is written out with like, do this for this row, and at the end you have this many stitches. So it was always easy to remember where you were and like double check how many stitches you had. And so I found it to be very well written in that way, even though the style it's written in, I guess, because this is not a beginner knit. I'll be honest, this is not a beginner knit. It's a very fun knit, but it takes dedication, and I would also say that maybe you should have knit some sweaters before you give this one a shot. I also did not, because it's the sleeves here is a twisted rib, and it was supposed to be a twisted rib in the hem and here on the sides as well. But honestly, twisted rib takes such a long time for me to knit, so I did not do that. Because that was one of those things where like my motivation was pretty low, but I still wanted to get going. And I thought, okay, well, one modification I can do is actually to just make a regular rib, not having to think about making the stitches twisted in order to get like this going. But for the sleeves, because they're more visible, I guess, because they stand out more with the pattern, I decided to do the twisted rib on the sleeves. So I am all in all very happy with the sweater. It's a cool design, and I don't think a lot of like it's a standout project really. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. So I need to drink a little. That was like a long it felt like a long introduction, but at the same time I do enjoy listening and watching knitting videos that are kind of long. So yeah, just be prepared. I don't know how long this video will become because I have some more things to talk about. And yeah, this was my first finished object. I'll probably mix things up a little. I will talk about my current little easy project that I'm knitting. Let's see. It currently looks like this. This is a little green top, a summer top that I'm knitting. It is called Hven, I think. It is, I should have double checked this, but it is a pattern from the Swedish yarn brand Svarta fåret. I think it came out last year. It is basically it's a top, and like the selling point was these shoulders. I thought they looked really cool. And then it's like a square, it's a sleeveless square top basically with a little split hem too. So it's mostly just stockinette knitting, like a square little top with no sleeves, but this little cool detail on the shoulder. And I am actually really enjoying this pattern. I have never knit a shoulder like this before. This is also something that's very, like, as I said, there's always new things to learn in knitting, and all these new shoulder constructions that have been starting to popping up, and designers are playing with the shoulders and structures. I find it really inspiring because when I started knitting, what drew me into knitting was all of the colorwork sweaters. And most of those that I knit from the beginning was always bottom up, and then the colorwork top. And now there's more top down sweaters, which of course I fell in love with. And now like the third generation that I'm seeing is now all these cool shoulder constructions. Yeah, so it's really cool. I find it cool and also fascinating to follow like the trends of knitting. But yeah, so this shoulder construction, I am in love with it. It's so easy, but just have it written down and follow it. It's so cool. Oh, and this is a free pattern too, in several languages too. You can find it on, I think it's on Ravelry, and all the different languages is on Ravelry. I downloaded it from their Swedish like homepage, but they only have the Swedish one over there, but they have all the, I think the Nordic countries and English on Ravelry. And this one is knit on, I think it's 4mm needles. I'm actually using their basic metal needles too from Järbo. I'm not really a metal needle girl. I use wooden needles all the time, but this is what I had free. Like all my other 4mm were busy in other type of projects, so I'm not against steel tips, but I knit very, very loose, so I rarely get gauge if I use for the steel tips. I need like the extra friction that wooden needles give. But I do have metal needles too, because they're easy to buy. They're in my grocery store. And so like this is like backup needles that is always good to have. Yes. So 4mm needles, and I'm using the Sunless Garn Line. And this is, well, it's a very nice green. It's color 9564 numbers. Very nice green, and I thought it would go well with my hair. I also bought blue as well for a second top. I don't know which color, but no, I do know what color. I just don't know what pattern. But this was one of the like rarities where I went in to buy yarn for this pattern. The Hven. I don't know how it's pronounced when it's an H and a V at the beginning. Hven. The Hven pattern. And they recommend Svarta fåret Cecilia, which I'm not sure my yarn shop has, but I found the Line, which I've heard a bunch of people talking and either loving or hating. Most of people on YouTube seem to love this yarn, so I figured I'd give it a go, because I rarely knit summer tops at all. Like during my 10 plus years, I might have knit 2 previously. I've knit 2 that I can remember, and I crocheted 1 top. But so this year I was like, no, I actually would really like a top or 2 that I knit myself, because I did knit one or 2 years ago that turned out really nice. It's just that it was in a alpaca blended yarn, like an alpaca silk or llama silk, and it's a very nice fabric and it's a very nice yarn. It's just that the type of top and the yarn didn't really match, because the top was very much hot summer day top, but the yarn became itchy as soon as I got sweaty, so like it didn't really match up. So in my head I might redo that top but in this blue, and then the green here will be the Hven top. And this is the first time trying this yarn, and so far I'm really liking it. Like, I have no problems with it at all. It's a nature fiber yarn. It is cotton, viscose, and linen in it, and I am a woolly wool girl, so using all natural fibers. Yeah, the other ones are animal fibers. These are natural fibers. I don't really, you can always tell a difference, but like, I don't mind this at all. I don't find the yarn hard to work with or anything. So I am enjoying this, and I am about to split for the armholes, I think. It's turning out really nice. And so this one I'm hoping to have finished pretty soon, because I was planning on wearing it for work during the summer times. Yes, a little green top. That was a summer top. Ooh, and the reason I wanted to finish this one was so that I could cast on something else. And I'm looking at my two projects here, like, which one should I start talking about? Okay, so in between sleeve 1 and sleeve 2 on this sweater, I knit a whole different sweater. I'll talk about this one. Ta-da! Colorwork cardigan? No, colorwork sweater. This is the Lumme sweater, eller Lumme pullover by Sari Nordlund, a Finnish designer. And this one is very popular, and I love colorwork is my thing. I really love colorwork, and this one has been on my list of sweaters that I wanted to make. So for Christmas, my partner got me the new Fjellaloppi yarn. It's Eastix, the Icelandic company that makes yarn. They made Fjellaloppi is a thinner version of Lättlupi, and I do really like Lättlupi as well as Plötulupi. The Icelandic yarns work really well for color knitting, and also for our weather. The Icelandic sweaters are even sometimes too cold. Yes, but when they announced that they were going to make Fjellaloppi, which is a thinner version of Lättlupi, I was really excited, actually, because Lättlupi is a bit thick, and I've been, this is the funny part, when I started knitting I was like, oh, I never want to knit anything on needles that start with 3 or lower. Like, I could go down to maybe 4mm needles. Now most of my sweaters, most of the things that I've done recently is around 3 or 3.5mm needles, which also made me appreciate thinner yarns more. And so I knew Fjellaloppi would be a really nice yarn to work with, that would also get like a very nice and drapey fabric. And so this is the sleeve. Like, I love the pattern, the Lumme pullover. This is the sleeve, and this is the top. This one is knit top down. And it was supposed to be a folded color. I think you knit it and then you were supposed to sew it down at the end. But I haven't, because I realized I didn't have any turtleneck or like higher necked sweaters at all. And so I've been keeping it this way, and I will probably I'll see if I'll sew it down or not, but currently I'm liking it. And the funny thing with this pattern is that, let's see, basically the Fjälla Loppe yarn would not be a recommended yarn for this sweater. It's basically way too thin, but I do knit very loose, and I almost always have to go down in needle size for almost all the sweaters I knit in order to get gauge. And so sometimes the sweaters can become kind of stiff or, you know, not as flowy as intended because I need to go down in needle size. So in this case, I wanted to try Fjälla Loppe with this pattern in order to not have to go down in needle size, but rather just changing the yarn. And one of the risks when doing that is that it could be, like, if the yarn is too thin, you might get like gapy holes. Like you could maybe see through the fabric because the stitches would be like larger. And they are quite visible, like not holes, but the stitches are quite visible in the sweater. And when you knit it, it didn't really look that good. Like it didn't. But I had trust in the process because I know that all of the Eastex yarns blooms really nicely. And basically the more you wear them and the more you like wash it, the softer they get and the more they bloom together. And it was the same with this one. After a wash, it turned out so nicely, and it's again, it's not very soft, but it is soft. I am not I used to be an itchy person when I was a kid, but as an adult I don't find many clothes itchy at all, and it doesn't bother me. So this one doesn't bother me at all. You can see it has some, I hope you can see, it has fuzz because it is an Icelandic yarn, and it is quite fuzzy. It is so nice, it's soft, and because it is the Fjälla Loppe, it's also kind of drapey. Like the fabric in itself, it's not a thick wool sweater, it's more a thin wool sweater, and which is honestly what I sort of want currently, because then I can fit them easier underneath sweaters or jackets, and they feel somehow maybe more appropriate for work when I'm not feeling like I'm wearing an outer winter fluffy jacket at work. Yeah, I thought I can show you the inside too. This is the inside. Let's see. And this is how I marked the back of the neck, because I need to see what's the front and what's the back when I get dress. So this is what I did, and this is how like all the floats looks like. I find it quite interesting to see how color work look on the inside as well. And this is the sleeves. Yeah. The Lumme pullover, I don't remember needle size. It's probably 4 or 4.5 millimeter needles. I remember it was pretty fast, at least. And I don't think I have that much to say about the pattern itself. It was pretty easy to follow. These ones are all charted, so you just follow the chart, and then you knit the body, stockinette stitch. So for me, this is like one of those easy fun projects that I do in between other things. But I'm trying to this year be better at not having too many multiple projects, but rather to focus on one. As I'm saying this, I'm realizing I have 3 ongoing projects around me, but they have different purposes. So the summer top that I just show you, it's a very easy summer top. It's just going to be stockinette. As soon as I get by like the armholes, it's just going to be stockinette, easy peasy. Okay, I'm done talking about this one. I'm really loving it. I also might knit a second one of this. Maybe in a different yarn, in different colors, because I love, I'm a sucker for things with flowers on them. Like, I really do love flower patterns. This is also a type of flower, but a more stylistic version. My second ongoing project is a pair of leg warmers. And I am currently on the second one. This yarn, I fell in love with it because I do love the colors. It's like a cappuccino, a cup of cappuccino that turns out into this lovely striped, in my case, just a big tube. I'm doing, there's no pattern for this. It's just a spiral tube where I knit, it's a 3x3 rib that I shift one step every 5th row. And then you get a tube, and then I also started to make increases because my legs are not this thin. But my plan is to have this as, well, leg warmers for when I bike to and from work. Because the mornings are, even in the summer, the mornings can be pretty chilly. Or, you know, compared to the daytime. So if I wear a skirt or something in during the day, I could wear these ones, just pull them on while I'm biking to work in the morning. So I am on my second one. And the yarn is Mellanraggi from Järbo Garn. I do not have the yarn tag thing left, but I bought this one earlier this year, so it's probably still in stores. I don't know the color numbers for it, but it's all these lovely browns. So this is a sock yarn basically, and I used one whole skein for this one, so I'm going to use all of the skein for the second one as well. And these ones reach from my ankle and like up to my thigh, so they're pretty long, and yeah, they're gonna be warm and cozy. But so this one is really like the mindless knit that I'm trying to get done now because it is biking time. The roads are free from ice and snow, so I've already started biking to work, and I really need this one soon because it's almost too warm to be wearing my snow pants, but it's still cold enough that if I don't wear anything, my legs are super cold when I get to work. So it's around like maybe between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius in the morning, and it takes like half an hour to ride my bike. So I need to get these finished very soon. I can show you this little cute stitch marker too. It's a little cat in a cup. It doesn't focus, it wants to focus on my face. But it's a little cat in a cup. I bought it in a knitting store in Finland. I know the brand for this one. I also have a cup of tea. It's knits.fi. Finland. They sell these little cute ones. So that's my second ongoing project. And then my third and I guess last thing I'll talk about today is also one of these projects that I've been eyeing for a long time. I was like, I want to do this, but other things got prioritized before, such as this one. or, you know, trying to finish this one, trying to finish other sweaters. But I decided for myself that I want to have this sweater so that I can wear it during the summer. And so even, was it in September? September or beginning of October, I bought yarn at the Sio Hantverksfestivalen that comes to my hometown during the autumn. And so I bought yarn for this sweater back in October, September. I started it at the beginning of April. As soon as this one was finished, or very close to finished, I think I had, it's Italian bind off on the edges. Love it. It's so nice. It takes such a long time. So when the sweater was basically done, I only had the bind off left on the sleeves. I decided I could cast on my next project. So it is the Salty Days sweater. It looks like this. I'm actually almost done with the body, and it's only been 2 or 3 weeks that I've been working on this one. And it looks like this from the back. I do love the shoulders in the back. It looks really cool. This is the also Finnish designer Veronica Lindberg. Yeah, Kutovaikika that designed this, and I've been eyeing it for more than a year, and I decided, okay, I have the yarn, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna knit it, and I've heard that this was a easy knit. I didn't know it would be this easy, or like so much fun, and it goes by so fast. But it does. It is the needles, 4.5 millimeter needles, wooden needles. I always do wooden needles mostly. Oh yeah, this one's also wooden needles, 4 millimeters. This is 4.5. But honestly, this sweater just flows by. And yeah, I'm almost finished with the body. Just a little bit more in this wide rib, and then a little, you know, finishing hem on it. And then sleeves, of course. Oh, and a neckline. But whew, it won't be finished by May, because that's just 1 or 2 weeks away. But it will be finished before June, of that I'm sure. And the pattern itself is pretty straightforward to knit. I wish it had more measurements, because I do knit very loosely. I also did not gauge swatch. I'm very bad at making swatches for my knits, but I have learned already that I knit very loosely. I have made swatches previously. I sometimes do them, sometimes not, but I always know I knit very loosely, so my stitches become very long. And for that reason, I almost never get row gauge. I can get like the width, but not the rows. And yeah, that's usually a problem when it comes to length of things. I think for this one, I actually, because I used a thinner yarn, the stitches didn't become as long as they would have become if I had a yarn that was recommended. So this one was fine, but usually when I knit top-down sweaters, the yoke part becomes way longer than it's supposed to be. So I usually have to like decide I'm gonna split up here instead, and then knit the rest on the sleeves. But this one was fine because I had a thinner yarn. In this case, this is it has lacy parts and structure parts, and I know it's gonna stretch a lot when I block it. So I have no idea how long this sweater is gonna be. And I wish I had like a measurement of like, this is supposedly how long the sweater should be before you block it and then after you block it. We'll see. So it is an oversized sweater, so I'm not really afraid that it's gonna look weird or anything like that. It's just how much oversized will it be. The yarn I'm using for this one is Cascade 220 that I've heard talking about for years. I've heard people talk about the Cascade 220, and one of my local yarn shops, she was at the fair and I bought this. It's like a creamy yellow color because it has like some yellow speckles in it. It's very hard to tell, but it's definitely not white. But yeah, the Cascade 220 is it merino wool? It's very soft anyway. And I think it's gonna drape really well after blocking it, because I think it will have a good like flow compared to one of these 100% like Swedish wools that are usually a bit more sturdy yarns. This one will flow pretty well. So yeah, this one is ongoing, and I've been trying it on to just see that it fits, and it does fit. So I'm quite excited to finally, or hopefully soon, have one of these finished for summer, because I think it will go really well with a pair of jeans or jeans shorts. Yeah, and as I said, our summers here aren't really like blasting hot, so on any non-super warm day, this could be an easy wear. Also, you could wear it on top of a dress as well, because it's a little lacy and cute. Yeah. That was my most finished knitting projects and my 3 current knitting projects. And maybe I'll try to wrap it up now, because I can see on my camera it actually stopped in the middle, like to warn me. It's been half an hour now. It's automatically stopped filming. That I've been talking quite a long time now, and maybe this is enough for a first video. And in a few weeks I'll probably film an update to see how my current projects are going and what else I'll be talking about. I do have a lot of other projects to talk about that I have completed over the years that might be of interest to other people to just hear me chat about, what yarn I used, what colors, what I thought about the pattern, because I do have like a 10-year backlog of things that I could talk about, but I probably mix it up between finished projects from before and current projects that I'm currently working on. But yeah, this was my first video, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to have a relaxing moment, just knitting away, listening to me chatting all about knitting. Yeah, I'll write my other like social media info in the description if you want to reach out or follow me over there. Both my Instagram and Ravelry, I'm fairly active on both. Yeah, so that's all for me today. Thank you very much for listening in. Bye!